Miss Carter.
Mr. Jarvis.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone, where we love talking about movies and more. I'm your host, Mason Phillips, and this is the third episode of my Road to Doomsday series. Today we're talking about Agent Carter Season 2. I already previously talked about Captain America the First Avenger and Agent Carter Season 1. So Season 2 of Agent Carter, it is unfortunate that the show did get canceled after 2 seasons because there were some clear plans for this show to continue on to set up Peggy as the founder of S.H.I.E.L.D., like she's known to be later in the MCU, really leading towards that part of the story in Agent Carter, and I believe it's kind of where it was going to be ending. Teasing that early story of Hydra infiltrating S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, they set that up with Arnim Zola at the end of Season 1, so it's clear they were kind of heading in this direction, but it is unfortunate that the show did get canceled after 2 seasons. It's always been my hope that a 3rd season of Agent Carter would be created, and I thought when Disney Plus was first launched that they would jump into a 3rd season of the show, but unfortunately that hasn't happened, and it doesn't look like it's going to be happening anytime soon, if at all. But with Season 2, while I don't think it's as strong as the first season, it does help to flesh out Peggy as a character. This time she's moved past her point of grieving over Steve Rogers. It's not really an element of her character anymore. This season completely focuses on that relationship between Peggy and Sousa. Another reason why I'm disappointed that we never got a 3rd season, because they were never able to flesh out the relationship between Daniel Sousa and Peggy Carter. But I do think that overall, switching the setting from New York City to California, it was refreshing. It was quite interesting to see this point in time, this era of Hollywood in the MCU. It was nice to see Peggy in a different element. And it was also nice to see that we got past this point of her coworkers looking down on her, not believing that she could do anything because she's a woman. We've gotten past that story, and everybody knows that she's a capable agent. So that secrecy of her being on the side mission isn't really a component of the show this time around. So the dynamics have definitely changed. Her relationship with Jack Thompson, with Daniel Sousa, with Jarvis, they've all changed, introducing new characters like Jason Wilkes into the picture, kind of creating this love triangle between Jason and Peggy and Daniel. And that story would actually be one of the weaker points of the story. I've never been a big fan of love triangles, so whenever they're introduced in any kind of drama or sitcom or whatever, it doesn't interest me, and it kind of bores me. I'm like, oh, we're doing this again. So that aside, I mean, I think Jason Wilkes was a good character, was an interesting character to bring into the show, and the stuff that he has interacting with Zero Matter, how that affected his life, and bringing in a villain like Whitney Frost, a different kind of villain, one that we haven't really gotten in the MCU like this. It's not about world domination for her or trying to be this conqueror like many previous villains in the MCU have been. She has a mission, she wants to accomplish it, and if anybody's going to get in her way, that's where the trouble comes. A very different type of villain, one who kind of works in the background, is more capable than everybody kind of gives her credit for. So it was a kind of a dark mirror of what Peggy was in Season 1. That was kind of a cool aspect of the show, and bringing in other characters, like we finally get to see Jarvis's wife, Anna. What a wonderful, bright character to bring into the show. Just injected life into this show, utilizing characters that were set up in Season 1 like Rose at the SSR, and propping her up a little bit more in Season 2. This show was able to use the supporting casts that now that there are certain characters that are no longer with us, like Chief Dooley from Season 1, everybody's kind of having to step up and carry a little bit more weight in the show, where they didn't have to do that so much in the first season. Season 2, I think it's a little unfocused. I think Season 1 was a lot more focused than Season 2 of Agent Carter was, but it's still a strong show, a strong story, and I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see much more of this going forward. Of course, we do have the Marvel one-shot Agent Carter that I'll be talking about on the channel very soon. While that did predate the series, it does kind of act as a conclusion to Peggy's story within the SSR before she transitions into her time at S.H.I.E.L.D. That aside, Season 2 is a good season. Not a great season, but it's a good season. And complaints aside, there were definitely things about the season that I did enjoy. If I was going to give Season 2 of Agent Carter a rating, I'd have to give it a 3.5 out of 5 or a B- on the letter scale. Again, it's a good season, but it's not a great season. There's a few things that bring it down from the heights of Season 1. Things that I wish they could have tackled and refocused going into a 3rd season. Still my hope that maybe a 3rd season could happen, but as every year passes, those hopes for a 3rd season just get get dimmer and dimmer. At this point, I'm not really holding out hope that they're going to continue this show. I would at least like to see some kind of special presentation that wraps up this part of Peggy's story. Again, I don't think we're going to revisit this part of Peggy's story. I don't think we're really going to be revisiting this era of the MCU, but nonetheless, it's something I would like to see happen at some point. If you've seen Agent Carter Season 2, go down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this season. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this unfortunate final season of the Agent Carter series. What are your thoughts on Peggy's adventures within the SSR? Go down in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Hope you all have an awesome and a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.